I really wanted to do this video because I thought it would be cool to kind of show the behind the scenes training for our upcoming show, which I will be at when this video is uploaded. So that video will be up within the next week or two, so be tuned for that as well. This was the warm-up on my Wednesday lesson. It was just a 3-loop serpentine, which we did at the trot, and then we worked into the canter, which is what you're seeing here in this video clip. I really liked this exercise because it got her bending, and it also got her warmed up in both directions, and also upward and downward transitions, which in the last vlog I was talking about we've been working on. Sometimes she tends to drop out of the canter, so I thought that her transitions were getting much better and it was becoming a little bit smoother. She was fresh both days that I'm going to show you, so sometimes we didn't really communicate correctly, but riding a fresh mare sometimes in the winter can be a challenge, so I think that we both kind of pulled our ends and worked together. There was a mislead that we fixed. And I'm lessoning with Kylie, who, shout out to her if she's watching this, which is the bay horse at the red saddle pad that's riding with me. So again, she was getting a little bit worked up and a little antsy, but it ended up working out, I think. And it was good to get all the antsiness and miscommunication out in the beginning before we moved on to jumping. So we just started with something really simple, and we started with the grid to 1 vertical, just to kind of get to warm up and look at all the jumps and everything. I really like gymnastics with Bella because it makes her figure it out and it keeps me from micromanaging her, which is one of my biggest bad habits. So just kind of letting her go and letting her find the jumps, which is the main idea of that lesson. And that was just me fixing my lead. So now we're putting the course together without the gymnastics. So it's that vertical and then me letting go and just looking for the next jump and letting her figure it out, and then just collecting a little bit to that jump right there. And then allowing her to drift into that corner, which I didn't do very well this time, just before we get to the pink oxer. And I think she jumped all of the jumps pretty well. And then she, fixes her lead, shakes her head, and then we move on to the next jump. And then this was the biggest challenge because I really wanted to slow her down, but it's easier for me to slow her down later rather than having to kick her forward and getting a bad distance, so it ended up working out in our favor, just letting her go. So here's the whole course being put together at a higher height, so that's the gymnastic, and then it's the exact same thing you saw, except again the 2 verticals were raised. So I think I let her go much better this time in comparison to my last show, which was the last time I really had jumped this height. So I think I'm starting to get way more comfortable with the idea, which is good because in order for me to start jumping higher courses, I have to be able to let her go. So again, she likes to kind of duck her head when she's jumping. Sometimes Bella tries to figure out what I'm doing ahead of time and do it for herself, which sometimes when I don't allow her to do that, she tries to shake her head and, figure out what I'm trying to do, I guess. So that course worked out really well. And now we are working on jumping the gymnastic at a higher height, so each time you're going to see the last jump raised. This was just because I haven't jumped high in a while, so it was good for me to practice my position and be able to just focus on my position rather than having to focus on approaches, because that's her job. So here's a better view of the gymnastic, but it was really good and straightforward. And I was trying not to get left behind or anything. And then the last time we did it, which I think is, this next time, the back rail. So this ended up being a 4-foot jump, which was really good, and it was a great way to end. Alright, so now we're on Thursday, and in this lesson we just had a quick warm-up. I'm riding with Hannah today, and we were just doing the gymnastic both directions. Today's lesson was very technical and difficult, so we just were piecing the course together. which is what you're going to see here, just a couple of the pieces. So we're just jumping to gymnastic very low because it just helped them to focus and slow down a little bit. And then we're going to this ground pull, which Bella did not want to do. And then 3 strides, and then 3 strides again. Again, trying to let Bella figure out on her own. So sometimes we don't get the best distance, but it's also just part of me letting go. This 2 was really wonky to the 1 because it wasn't a perfectly straight line. Then we halted in the corner. And then now we are doing the next part of the course on its own, just to figure out the turn. So it's the 1 stride, and then it's 1 stride that way, which was interesting the first time I did it. And then around to the 1 again, but with a different jump as the first one. And then again halting in the corner, which was really good to get her to focus and listen. So now we're piecing it together. So here we have the grid, again just nice and low, which I appreciated. And then you have the 3 stride to the other 3. And then it's around to the 2 to the 1, which this turn was a little bit challenging to do, which I think helped just my eyes and letting her go more because I had to focus on where I was going. And then halting in the corner, which she, as you can see, she tries to duck out of every time. And now we're just doing a circle to change direction, and we're going to head through the pink 1 stride the other way. So approaching this, she did a really good job, and then, you know, just looking. And now we're doing, it's the same as the last little piece that was in the last clip. We're going to the other 1 to 1 and halting in the corner. Alright, so now we switched up the course and we're jumping a lot higher, a couple higher. So we're doing the 3 to the 3, but in the opposite direction, which was challenging because the ground pull she didn't really expect. And now we're doing the gymnastic, which I liked because she just saw some big jumps. Now she has to relax over some small ones. And then we run over the 1 stride to the pink 1 stride. Bella had tripped the course before, so my position's a little wonky because my main concern was just getting her over it. We're going over all the ground pulls, which was, again, good to just get her to calm down and relax, which she tripped over. And then the last part was this turn here that was very difficult, which she did phenomenally. And that was our lesson.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you like it and comment down below if you have any video requests for the future. And if you want to see me on a more day-to-day basis, be sure to follow my Instagram, which will be linked down below. Bye guys!